Hello everybody, welcome back to the Life of Logan and Dragana. My name is Dragana, and in today's video I will be talking to you about 5 different principles that I have implemented into my life over the past 2 years that have helped me tremendously with my money and my finances. Before I begin this video, I just want to say that by no means I am a professional on this topic. However, I have done a lot of research, read books, watched YouTube videos, listened to some highly successful people in my life, and decided to just break it down into 5 simple ones that anybody can do to become better with their finances. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into number 1. Alrighty, so before you can even worry about making any extra money or managing your money or just being better at money, first thing you need to do is establish what your relationship with money is. You cannot have a negative thinking or a negative relationship with money if you want more money into your life. I know there's a lot of videos out there that talk about law of attraction and how what you speak into the universe is what the universe gives you back, but what a lot of people forget to mention is that works both with negative and with positive. So if you're speaking negatively about money into the universe and you're constantly saying, I am broke, I will never get any more money, my job sucks, I will never get a raise, then that is exactly what the universe is going to give you back. If you want to get a better relationship with money, you need to start speaking positively about money. It doesn't matter what your preconceived notions about money are or what your family has taught you about money. You are your own person and you need to create a better relationship if you want money to come into your life. Simple ways that you can do that is by speaking abundance into your life, speaking that it's easy for you to get money, speaking about getting a raise, speaking about getting a better paying job, and that is exactly what the universe is going to give you back. You gotta remember, if you speak broke, you will stay broke. But if you speak abundance, you will get abundance into your life. So now that you have established a good relationship with money, let's move on to principle number 2, and that is budgeting. The reason why budgeting is so important and why everyone should have a budget is because that will give you an idea about how much monthly spendings you have and how much money you need to be bringing in order to cover all those spendings. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you an example of what a budget should look like. I'm going to go ahead and put up a screen on my phone and kind of give you an overall idea. Of course, your numbers might not look like my numbers. It might be more, it might be less, but overall, this is something that your budget should look like. I went ahead and I just opened a note section in my phone and I titled them monthly necessary spendings. So monthly necessary spendings are things that I 100% have to pay for. These are going to be my needs versus wants. If you're not sure what needs versus wants are, your needs are going to be things that you for sure need in order to survive. You need groceries, you need gas, you need to pay rent, and then your wants are going to be things like I want a new pair of shoes or I really want to eat that ice cream. So those are the things that you really want, but you don't necessarily need to survive. So I just went ahead and I broke down my budget on the things that I for sure need so I can really be cautious about how much money I'm spending on needs versus wants. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over this. I'm not going to dive too deep into it because most of these are very self-explanatory. So number 1, I have rent. I need a roof over my head. For number 2, I need data because I work off my phone and that's how I make my money. Number 3 is I have car insurance because I'm constantly driving and doing side hustles, so I need insurance to cover me just in case something happens. Number 4, I have groceries. We mainly try to go grocery shopping and stack up our fridge with a bunch of food so we can cook and not really spend money on eating out because that gets really expensive. Number 4, we have business expenses. We're running a business on the side and that only comes to about $90 a person. Then we have utilities is number 6. We need electricity, we need water. Those are some essentials. And then number 7, I have gas. Again, I go out all the time. I'm driving in my car. That's how I'm making my money. And that only comes to about $40 because I have a super tiny car that has great gas mileage on it. And then what you want to do is you want to add up whatever those total monthly expenses are. You know, you might not have everything that I have in here because to you that might not be your necessary monthly needs, but you're going to go ahead and you're going to add up that total. As you can see, here's my total at the bottom. So now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to pull out your previous month's bank statement and you want to take that total and subtract it from whatever your monthly spending on those statements were. Once you're done doing that, go ahead and see whatever is left over, if anything is left over, and then go ahead and break it down and see where else you might have spent that money that you could have either saved or invested or just not spent it at all. So when I did my personal budget, I realized I was spending $500 on eating out, which is absolutely insane because once I figured that out, I realized I should just grocery shop and that brought my total down to $200. My budget also helped me realize that I was spending way too much money on clothes every month. For some reason, I thought that I needed a new outfit every time there was an event and I didn't want to be seen in the same outfit, but that helped me realize, wow, I could really be putting that money towards something else. So I stopped stop doing that. So that is why the budget is important, because you really want to figure out if there is some areas that you might be spending way too much money that you can be cutting down on. Now in 2020, a lot of us have realized that having just one source of income isn't as secure as we might have thought. That is why it's important to have multiple sources of income. I know some people are going to say, well, I already work 40 plus hours a week. I don't necessarily have time to do another job on the side. And I'm going to tell you that that is just an excuse. The reason why I say that is because I know that I can go through 90% of people's phones and find at least 6 to 10 hours of non-productive time that you're either sitting there watching Netflix, playing video games, or just simply scrolling and watching other people live your life. What you can do is you can take those non-productive hours, go out there and make some extra money on the side. There's so many different ways to make money, whether you have a vehicle to do so or you don't have a vehicle to do so, there is ways to make money. And now I just wanted to give you a couple of examples of how you can make money. So let's talk about those people who do have a vehicle and can do those things that require a vehicle. So number one, you can do grocery delivery services or you can do food delivery services. There's probably over 10 different apps that offer you to make extra money by delivering food or groceries for other people. And if you have a car, why not utilize it and make some extra money on the side, even if it is only $200 to $500 a month. I know that that amount of money could really help some people, whether that's putting it towards debt or that's putting it towards your mortgage payment. For those of you who maybe don't have a vehicle to do stuff like that, you can do simple things such as shoveling your neighbor's driveway or mowing their grass or picking up leaves during fall time or pulling weeds or cleaning up their gutters, or whatever other work. Maybe some people want to paint their house and they don't really want to pay a painter, and you can offer to be that service for them. You can also sell items online or you can do a garage sale. I know so many of us have so much junk that we have accumulated over the years that we simply don't use. And like they say, another man's trash is another man's treasure. So maybe you don't want it, but someone is willing to pay money for it. And so there's so many different ways to make money. You just really gotta have that dedication and that drive to do so. It is time to stop making excuses for yourself and take those non-productive hours and turn them into a money-making machine that's going to put you so much further ahead in the future. So now we're moving on to principle number 4, and that is having an emergency fund. In 2020, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and if they didn't have an emergency fund, I can only imagine how tough their financial situation was. Maybe they weren't able to pay for rent or even buy groceries to feed their family, and that is a really tough thing. So that is why I suggest having an emergency fund, because you never know when something's going to happen, like losing your job, and you still want to be able to pay for all your monthly expenses without worrying whether you're going to be evicted or be able to feed your family. Now let's figure out how much money you should have in your emergency fund. So now what I would do is I would go back to the budget that we did earlier and see whatever that total is, and you should have at least a month or two of that total in your emergency fund. Like I said, just in case you lose a job and you need some time to look for a new job, at least you won't be worried that you won't be able to cover your monthly expenses. Some people suggest that you even have up to 6 months of emergency money you can fall back on, or even up to a year, but it's all based on your budget. So if you can only do one, then that's all you can do. For younger people that maybe don't have families, I would suggest you have a minimum of $1,000, because you never know if something's going to happen. Maybe 3 of your tires at one time are going to blow out and you're going to need to buy them because you depend on that car to get to work and make more money. Or maybe there's going to be a medical emergency, whether it's you or your family, and maybe you don't have insurance or your insurance doesn't cover enough and you really don't want to be putting yourself in debt. So having that emergency money on the side is so important. Moving on to our last principle, and that is understanding the difference between instant gratification and delayed gratification. If you want to be good with money, you really need to have self-control over those daily urges that we get to spend money on just random things. You might say, that's not me, but I can guarantee you that 99% people are like this. Let me just give you an example. A lot of us will be scrolling through social media and see someone with a fresh new fit and say, wow, I really need a fresh new fit, or I really like those shoes, I really want to get that, or you're gonna get a notification from Apple saying the new iPhone just came out. You should get it and get all the new features that we just added on there. And you might think, wow, I really should get a new iPhone. This iPhone 8 just ain't good enough anymore, so I really need that new iPhone. Or you're gonna pass by a Starbucks and say, I could really use some coffee right now. I'm feeling super sleepy, and if I get my coffee, I can function through the rest of the day. Those are those random urges that everybody gets on a daily basis. You really need to try to have self-control over those because it's going to save you so much money in the long run. Let me give you another example in a question form. So if someone came up to you today and they said, would you rather take $100,000 right now, like here's my little briefcase with $100,000, you can have it right now if you want to, or would you rather have me give you a penny doubled a day for the next 30 days? What would you choose? If you chose $100,000, congratulations, you now have $100,000 and you can probably put that towards either debt, maybe going getting an education or whatever else. But if you chose a penny doubled a day over 30 days, congratulations, by the end of those 30 days, you now have $5.3 million. I really hope that question helped you understand a little better what I meant by instant gratification versus delayed gratification. If this kind of helped you realize, man, I am an instant gratification person, I don't blame you, because 99% of people are. For some reason, we as human beings, we want things right now. Like, we don't want to wait. Like, I don't care about the future. Like, I want this now because that's going to satisfy me now, versus maybe having to wait 50 years in the future and seeing how that satisfies you then. But that's also the reason why there's 99% of broke people and only 1% of rich people, is because they delay their gratification as much as they possibly can. And then in the future, they have that high level success because they were patient, they kept putting their money away, they invested their money in proper things, and now they're getting to benefit from it in the future. If you made it to the end of this video, congratulations. I really hope this was some useful and helpful information that you could potentially implement in your life and then see how you benefit from it. If you did like this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment down below, either with questions or maybe suggestions for further videos, or if you like this type of content and you would like to see more down the road. And if so, make sure that you subscribe to our channel for further content. But until then, ciao.